What's your name and what's your question?
My name's Ken, and I'd like to ask, I saw you in Star Trek Continues. You did an episode there, and I was really surprised. I'd like to know if you could say anything about how that came about.
Well, I've always been a big fan of Star Trek. And there was a friend of mine named Vic Magana. He created an online series. And we were talking one day, he said, I had to come to your house, I have a project for you. I said, okay. He comes to my house, we have a nice conversation. He said, I have a wonderful character to play online, part of the old wine race. I said, yeah, I love it. He said, you gotta be painted green. You gotta have a bald cap, you gotta be bald. And apparently I said, okay. But the funny thing is that the wine race is green. So when I heard the word green, I almost wanted to get discouraged. But I just love the character, so we came with the name Damahan. I don't know if you guys see it, it's on TV, it's on the computer, it's on StarTrekContinue.com, the episode called Ronani. And I wanted to get a chance to play this slave trader that became the slave. It was the one for the acting experience. The makeup, to manufacture was like 4 hours. And then we were filming in Florida, and the stage had no air conditioning. So they had like 5 fans on me at the same time to cool me down, because when you have a bald cap, they have like an opening, so when you sweat, it drains through the back. But a bald cap sometimes takes like 45 minutes to put on, plus all the green makeup. But it was a beautiful character, but you can see why I was so angry in the show. Thank you.
It's probably helpful having that real life experience.
It's interesting because it's a different character, but if you get a chance to check it out yourself, it's beautiful because you can see how easy he was, and he would do anything to convince the crew for his slave. At the same time, he was a killer. So it's just interesting to watch, yeah.
That's wonderful, I can't wait to see it. What is your name and what is your question?
Hello, my name is Mark, and I'm a little young for when the Hulk first came out. But when I first saw you was on The King of Queens, when you had your recurring role as yourself. So just my question was, do you have a funny story of something that happened on set or off set with Kevin James and Jerry Stiller, something like that?
Yeah, I really don't have any great stories. I know that when you work with them backstage, they're very quiet people, they're very subdued. But you're in front of the camera, they're incredible. The chemistry, the personality. It was a fun show because the hardest thing about King and Queens in front of a live audience like this, you don't have a chance to do 5 or 6 different takes, only 1 or 2 takes, because if it's not funny, it's not going to work. So the preparation before, when you read the script for the network, they do a lot of elimination of different lines. They want to make sure it sounds funny, because comedy is hard to do. I mean, you can't be funny, you've got to be the character. But to me, it was a good experience because every day in life I go through the same thing. People say incredible Hulk jokes. They scream all kinds of funny things at me. So that's why we incorporated on the show. So it was a lot of fun, especially that instant gratification.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. What is your name and what is your question?
My name is Kevin, and my question is about bodybuilding. When you went back into bodybuilding, I think it was 93, 94, to compete, how was that hard to compete with younger bodybuilders?
You mean when I came back to competition?
Yeah, when you came back, was it 93, 94?
I don't know if they all know. I did Pumping Iron Arnold Schwarzenegger at 23. I did the Hulk series. I retired. One day I woke up, I decided to compete again because to me it was unfinished business. It was 1992, I was 42 years old. The hardest thing for me wasn't the competition, it was to develop the hunger to compete again. That was huge because at the time with the wife and 3 kids, before when I was competing, when I was young, I was living home with my parents, I had my own bedroom, I could shut the door, I had my own space, dieting and then watching TV, but I had no social life. But 42 was a whole different family situation for me. So to develop the hunger, like the diet, the hunger to compete, because I knew to come back to competition, I had to look like a 90s bodybuilder, not like in the 70s, because the bodybuilders competing back then with my age, but the new competitors, the improvement, the physique, and the diet and training was so much more advanced. So basically, it was a challenge for me, but I'm glad I did it because it was a challenge, because when you develop that hunger, it means that anything else in life, you develop the hunger to be successful, it's the same thing, it's about that discipline. So at least for me, it was finished business. If I never came back to competition, it would always been what if I should have competed, because when I competed pumping iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I was not my best. I only trained like 7, 8 weeks, but at least I had the chance to fulfill that desire in me.
Thanks.
What is your name and your question?
My name is Hal. This is my question about late Bill Bixby. May rest in peace. What was your best time working with him on this series, The Incredible Hulk?
The best time was that after the Hulk aired the first season, I had a chance to have actors, very famous actors like Cary Grant, people from all over to visit me on the set. Because to me, the best experience, I would say, the fact that every country in the world embraced the Hulk. It was something that was new to every country. It was beautiful because I was so well respected, because growing up, I was a Hulk my whole life. So when I did the Hulk, I had a chance to get that respect, because growing up as a kid, I had to overcome diversity. I had to deal with the speech, the hearing issues, everything. People call me deaf mute, deaf Louie when I was a kid. So when I did the Hulk, I felt like the Hulk. When I got that huge respect, it to me, it gave me a chance to give people hope out there, like people that with disabilities, people that, for example, blind, crippled, whatever. The most important thing is to mention that around the whole world, that the fact that they will have to break doors, smash things, I would do for them through the TV situation, release all those demons, because every one of us has a little Hulk inside of us, but they feel they're released when I accomplished doing the Hulk. So that's the most exciting part for me.
What's your question?
Hi, my name is Chaz, and I was one of those kids who lived vicariously through you, Lou. I wanted to ask about the role of the Hulk. How did that come about? Did you audition, or did they just say, oh, this guy's the Hulk? You know, like, how did you get the role? Two-part question. Outside of the show, how close were you with Bill Bixby? That's
okay. The first question, how I got the Hulk.
Yeah.
Well, what happened though, I was competing for competition, training for the 1977 Miss Olympia competition. They were shooting the Hulk with another actor named Richard Kiel, who played George and James Bond, the guy was like 7'2". So one day, a director came on the set with his son, and the boy said to his dad, this is not the Hulk. He said, what's fun? I said, what's wrong? He said, he doesn't look like the Hulk, like the comic book, the big muscle. So they realized at the same time, Richard Kiel was a great actor, but it didn't work for the character. Then they did a nationwide search course. So my phone rang, I said, we have an audition for you. They will audition many different big guys for the part. I remember when I went down for the screen test, and of course they said, we want to paint you green for the screen test. And I made an excuse, I said, I gotta catch a plane, I don't want to get painted green. They were so desperate, they literally begged me. So I went for the screen test, and then the next day I was filming. The next day I went for bodybuilding to be the Hulk, because they had to reshoot the whole pilot. It wasn't like the situation when you put on the show and then shoot a few weeks later, because it was over the budget. Father Bill Bixby, he was like my mentor, like a second father to me, because when you work on the set with another actor, like a TV series, you spend more time with the actor than your family than friends. We're talking like 40 to 60 hours a week. And Bill was a wonderful person, but I've learned so much from him just watching him. He was like a mastermind of acting. It's incredible. So, that's your answer.
Could I do a quick follow-up? Did you even know who the Hulk was before you got offered the role, or was that just a...
Yes, as a kid I used to read all the Hulk comic book. The reason why I was very attracted to the Hulk, because, you know, children are obsessed with power. For me, I love the Hulk because the Hulk was the only character that had no clothes on, just spandex.
Thank you so much for being a hero, and thank you.
But what I was saying, that I was a Hulk my whole life, because I lived a very difficult life, like anger in me, so I related to the character. And that's why when you read the magazine, to me it was believable, for I was like, gee, there's the strength, the look of him.
Thank you so much.
what's your name and what's your question?
Yeah, my name is Benoit. Mr. Ferrigno, my question is, your father was a policeman. I read somewhere that your father was a policeman. Would you have chosen a career in the police force if you hadn't been a bodybuilder?
To be honest with you, because of my hearing situation, I couldn't be a policeman back then because you know, now I have a cochlear implant, I have a hearing aid, it's different. But back then when I was young, I could not get involved in a city worker, like I said, a sanitation worker or a policeman. But I admire him when he did as a police officer. That's why many years later when I had the chance to be a police officer, I think the answer is that if I was born in different situations, if I had normal hearing, I would never have been a bodybuilder. I would have probably been a police officer, maybe like a detective. But it's funny that losing my hearing, God gave me a different gift. He gave me this passion for bodybuilding. So that's how life is. You grab that passion, like you lose something, you gain something. Boy, I love this crowd.
Are they
I
generous?
love this crowd. It's a bodybuilder. I love this crowd. Love it, baby.
I'm biased, but we have the best attendees at this convention. Come back next year.
You got it. By the way, the food's great because last night I went to a restaurant. You know, it's great. You know what's beautiful about this country? It's very multicultural. It's like people from all over, everybody celebrates, everybody's happy, very positive. People walk on the street. It's what life should be. Beautiful.
It's a joie de vivre. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Alan. Montreal loves you right back, Lou. We love you. My question is a little different direction, but I just love that Paul Rudd film, I Love You Man, that you were in, right? How did you get involved with I Love You Man?
Well, the writer of the show wrote Zoolander, a different movie, and then he approached me if I was interested to be in the film. So I read the script. He said, come to my office in Universal Studios. I went to see him. I said, listen, I like the script, but I think you should extend it to the scene, maybe at the end of the scene with the wedding scene, because he wanted to show the movie about romance and bromance, incorporate me in the show, especially when I do that chokehold.
It's amazing.
It was great because it's funny, like it gets hype, but the whole movie itself, like Jason Segel, Paul Rudd, they're great actors, they're so delicious to work with. That's why it's a comedy, that's why it's the best comedy in 2008. So the guy named was John Hamburg, he wrote the story, and very grateful to be in that film because people see me doing comedy that decided to do another serious drama role.
Yeah, you just nailed it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Jonathan, and Lou, you competed in the era, you know, a lot of people refer to as the golden era of bodybuilding, and you guys all had really aesthetic physiques and seemed to live to a ripe old age. And now the current bodybuilders, it seems like a lot of them have these, you know, distended bellies, and you hear top bodybuilders like Cedric McMillan and Dallas Carver dying in their prime competing. What do you think is the big difference? Do you attribute it to the drugs that these guys are taking now that's changed so much?
You know something, when I compete in pumping iron, there was camaraderie. Today is not the bodybuilder's fault. It's the fact that because competition is so much stiffer, keener, the fact that they got to carry more size, more weight, and it's a personal preference with the bodybuilder because sometimes they get involved taking different chemicals. It's their choice, the wrong thing to do because some people get depression. Bodybuilders think that the more drugs you take, the bigger you're going to get. The truth is, it comes down to good genetics. If you have great genetics, you'll be a champion. But it's not just the bodybuilding sport, it's other sport too. That's why today there's so many recreational drugs. It's not the steroid, it's other drugs that they're using themselves. Maybe they're trying to alleviate depression, stuff like that. But I think I missed the symmetry back in the 70s. That's why when I came back to competition, I was 325 pounds. I tried to show as much mass as I could, but at the same time, I sacrificed some symmetry. It's tough today to be a world champion bodybuilder, the diet, the training, And the judges, it's a subjective sport. It's different. So it's a personal preference.
Thank you.
All right, hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Yeah, hi, my name is Danny. And I always loved your smile and your positivity every time I saw you in a picture or in an interview. And I always liked your Hercules part, your part as Hercules. And I was going to ask you wanted to come up here and ask you a political question because you also worked for I think you worked for the Trump presidency as a bodybuilder, as a fitness guru, or you worked for them, and I wanted to ask you about that, as well as, or you could take the lighter, non-political thing and tell us about what it was like on Hercules to come on and see all the outfits, the costumes like Callista and all the other ones would have on, because I found the outfits in Hercules just fantastic. They were a lot of fun.
And the question is?
So the question is, what's it like working as a fitness advisor to, the United States at one point, and also the costumes on Hercules?
So what's the question?
Oh, the question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, sorry. What was it like work, because you're a very positive person, and all I hear is about the negativity when it comes to politics in the US. So what was it like for you as a positive person to work for I think it was the Trump administration when you were working for the presidency? As a fitness advisor, weren't you? And if I'm wrong on that, go with the Hercules question on what was it like coming in and seeing Callista in her outfits? So.
What was it like seeing Callista in her outfits in the Hercules series?
No, the Hercules, what's the question again?
What did you think of the costumes for the Hercules?
You mean the movie I did?
Yes.
The Hercules, I think it was very close to the character, because if you look at the Farnese Hercules, of course he had no clothes on. He's leaning against the rock. I thought it was great. I thought the way it was done, because we filmed in Rome, Italy. And all the locations were real. Like, for example, the scene when they fight the dragon, it was down underneath the street in the catacombs. The scenery was beautiful. We filmed different parts of Italy. It was phenomenal because the fact that it goes back to the original Hercules. I had a lot of fun. I had to get a chance to have a beautiful tan. The hardest thing about Hercules for me is from the first day to the last day, how to maintain the same condition. I'd always like gain 10 pounds if I didn't train as much, or show on the screen. That's why whenever you make a film, it's permanent. You can't go back and change it once the film's released. So it's interesting, when I filmed Hercules, I was always a big fan of Hercules. I wanted to show the epitome of the physique, but at the same time, adapt to the character as far as the strength, had to do with the fables of the stories back then.
Thank you so much. What is your name and what is your question?
Hi, I'm Michael. You had an appearance in the Hulk film that was released in 2003. That you played like a security guard with the one and only Stan Lee. My question is, what was it like being part of the Hulk film that was released in 2003?
It was fun. The only thing I was disappointed was the CGI Hulk, because they should have showed my motion capture with me. Ang Lee, he was the director, he did it. But the thing is that he brought it back to the character, but the Hulk wasn't believable. It was more of a cartoon instead of being like the real looking character. So I felt like when we did the film, I was very honored to be in the film with Stan Lee. Because Stan Lee created the character. There was a cameo with Stan Lee, and then after that I did a cameo with Ed Norton. I was very happy to be part of that, but a lot of the fan people today rather see the OG Hulk, because the new computer generated can't match the OG Hulk unless they improve the CGI.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi. Oh, okay, well, you were here first, sir, so we'll just continue on this side. What is your name and what is your question?
My name is Anthony. I was wondering if you will do a sport, a team sport, what will you do?
If you would do a team sport, what would it be?
A team sport. Football. Did you know that I played for a short time for the Toronto Argonauts? I had no experience, but it was a fabulous time. You know, Canadian football is different because they have 3 yards instead of 4. They can anticipate, but it requires more speed. But just it was a great experience.
What's your favorite sport, your favorite team sport to watch?
The Lakers. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this is unfortunately going to be our last question, but Mr. Ferrigno is going to be at his table right after this, so if you didn't get a chance to ask, head on over. And hi, you're rounding off with the last question.
No pressure.
No pressure.
So, I grew up watching the whole TV series with my mom, who watched it when she was younger as well. And it was really funny to me when I was watching, I was 4 or 5 years old, and I got online after, and I saw you on a YouTube channel with Smosh. And I was wondering if you had any memories of filming that and how it came to be, because I remember seeing so random how my internet hero and my superhero are on the same YouTube channel.
Yeah, that was something a friend of mine recommended. We did those videos because I kind of funny in a way to show different aspects of my personality. It was fun. I'm glad you liked it.
Give it up for Mr. Lou Ferrigno.
Thank you.
Yes. Please go see him at his table. He's available for autographs.
Every one of you in life have a passion. Embrace your passion. I don't care what it is. Thank you for coming. God bless you. I love you all. Thank you.